Hi everyone, Sandman here. This video is brought to you by a donation from Roger, and he didn't give me a specific topic, he just said that my videos changed his life. Well Roger, thanks for your donation, and as you can see, I'm going to discuss why women hate responsibility. I'm going to share a quote from Aristine88, a faithful listener to my channel. So here's what Aristine88 has to say. Hi Sandman, women only have their feelings to connect them to reality, and actually believe that good intentions are the same as doing good. They will blame everyone but themselves when their good intentions only pave the way to hell. It's not my fault because I was doing what was right, they say, i.e. what made them feel good about themselves. Women don't know what's actually right and wrong, only what makes them feel right and wrong to begin with. So when their actions lead to pain, destruction, and suffering, they aren't actually able to connect them to what they're doing. The only reality they have is their feelings and what they felt was right, so all that pain, destruction, and suffering must be someone else's fault. The patriarchy, racism, bigotry, hate, ignorance, lack of education, etc. And since women only do what feels right, and feelings are only what reality is to them, then it must be men's fault. They just need to bring down the patriarchy, fight against bigotry, hate, ignorance, and educate those men about their feelings and tell them what the world should do. This is why women spend so much time looking for men to do things for them that don't make them feel good. So they can pretty much point it out and blame the guy every single time while granting themselves credit for everything good. Their brains can't conceive that the only ones doing something is basically responsible for either good and bad. Women want the power, choices, rights, and privileges because it makes them feel good, but not actually wanting the responsibilities, accountabilities, and burdens because those make them feel bad. And since feelings are reality to women, then women have power, choices, rights, etc. that makes them feel good. And women not having responsibility, accountability, and burdens basically makes them feel as good as well. If it feels good, then it's good. There's nothing else to it. So when men try to hold women accountable, responsible, or make them carry burdens, they're trying to make women bad, because it makes them feel bad, and feeling is the only reality there is to women. Thus men are bad, i.e. oppressing them, abusing them, etc. Women will never actually be willing to give up what feels good, i.e. rights, choices, privileges, because those make them feel good in the first place, and thus are good. They may also throw other women under the bus to avoid responsibility. They are not incapable of seeing those things as basically linked together, i.e. you're given the rights to handle responsibilities, being accountable for how you use power, or having privileges to compensate for the burdens that you carry. Those things are not part of reality to women. Only how things make them feel is part of reality to them. Well, Aristine88, thanks for those words. From time to time I save them and will actually make a video with regards to what you have to say. What really stood out with regards to what you said is how women will do things that make them feel good, but they won't connect the pain, destruction, and suffering that's basically associated with them. It's like they lack cause and effect when it comes to their actions. This could explain why women, given the choice to go into the workforce, they decided to go full force, and today we have more women employed than men. But at the same time, women are more unhappy than ever when it comes to this modern arrangement. They're on more antidepressant medications than ever and aren't happy with the way things are, but are still happy to go off to work for some reason. When I talk to my younger female cousins, they have no idea what they want to do in their lives. They have no interest in getting a job or basically getting a profession. They enjoy school and the social environment that it provides, but they don't have a sense of urgency or interest to basically choose a profession that interests them. They have no natural interest in electronics, computers, cameras, cars, or pretty much anything mechanical or real. They enjoy talking and socializing, and in the past sitting at home and playing music to the children and socializing them into society was their main responsibility as women. And it was also a burden, but it was also their source of joy. I think they received more joy from that burden than they do from working today. But nurturing children and animals is a responsibility that actually makes them feel good. When there's a child suckling a woman's teat, so long as it's not biting down too hard, their brain as a woman is basically wired to give them a reward for doing that type of behavior. For men, we're rewarded emotionally when we work hard and provide the material existence for our families. What makes you emotionally satisfied as a male is putting your family over the roof and putting food on your family. If you're confused about what I just said, pretend that I'm George W. Bush. But seriously, that's why it's so hard to stop being a blue pill man, because having sex and being a provider, protector feels good for us. It doesn't feel good to stay away from women because when you touch and take care of them, the pharmacy in your brain goes wild, providing you good vibrations while also encouraging you to keep doing what you're doing. But when you get burned enough times by women and take the red pill, you finally connect the cause and effect and you realize her tuna salad and watermelons taste great, but your breath is basically going to stink like fish, and you're going to wet yourself when she takes the kids and destroys your life financially. The reason most guys fall into this trap is because it feels natural and normal, and they get what they want up front and pay later. It's like putting your life on a credit card that may or may not actually send you the bill. You just hope that the credit card company, i.e. your wife, doesn't call back the loan. But getting back to responsibility, women are generally allergic to it because it's not fun and doesn't feel good, as Aristine88 just mentioned. When people have children, the kids generally want to do what feels good, like eating a tub of ice cream for breakfast instead of healthy vegetables. Children want to do what feels good, and adults are supposed to be the responsible ones telling their kids they can't have this or that because it's not good for them. When I was growing up, it was mostly my dad that put his foot down on what types of bad foods I shouldn't be eating. Meanwhile, some of my friends from single mother households, their mothers would feed them the worst processed foods because it was convenient and they were often lazy. One single mother I knew didn't take too much responsibility for her own kids and worked at a donut factory, and she would feed her kids donuts for breakfast. So is it any wonder that both kids turned out to be dumber than a bag of nails? A single mother raising you is like a child raising another child. What she really needs is supervision as well as some responsibility over her. Aristine88 is right when he says that women look for men to do things that they don't want to do because they don't feel good about them. This could explain why 99% of workers doing dangerous jobs are men, because if a woman feels scared doing a certain type of job, then she can't do it. It's like everywhere I look, women enjoy working in solid, well-heated or cooled buildings, with security and men around the clock to protect them from the general public, as well as cameras to capture the evildoers that might come in and crap in their cornflakes. I would also wager that women didn't want the responsibility of going to work in the working world when there were mostly factories and a lot of work from farming, forestry, and fishing was done outside. We see women working in hospitals, offices, retail jobs, and other environments that are safe and cleaned. It's not that they don't want to work in a place like a scrapyard, it's just that they don't feel safe with flying metal and blowtorches all over the place. When I was a scrapper, the only places I would actually see women working in the scrapyard were the office behind bulletproof glass and bars so that people couldn't rob the place. Women also seem to like working in banks because that way they can keep track of your resources as well. Again, more cameras behind them to keep track of the customers. But of course, if they see some cute young guy coming into the bank, they check out his bank account and they won't hesitate to ask him out. I've encountered that before, and so have many of my friends. Same thing if they're actually working full retail or in a coffee shop. They basically see how often the guys come in, how much money they spend, and can pretty much profile them from the safety behind the counter. Think of every single coffee that you get from a barista, or when you buy a shirt from a woman working in a retail store, as a potential girlfriend interview. She's sizing you up whenever you go in there, and you thought you were just buying Fruit of the Looms. In such environments, women have very little responsibility running the store and making sure that it runs properly. Think of big companies coming in and killing the mom-and-pop stores in the economy. The real responsibility for running mom-and-pop stores was held by the pop. Chain retailers destroyed the responsible men that used to run all the stores in Main Street American shops. I put a link in the description to a video called Walmart: The High Cost of a Low Price. And in that video, they follow the story of a family-run hardware store run by 3 generations of men, and how when Walmart comes in, they're basically put out of business. Then on the other side of the argument, you have mostly female associates working at Walmart complaining about how they aren't getting paid enough by the store. The thing is, many of these women in the documentary say that they were cheering at first when Walmart came to town. They had no idea how their towns would get gutted. The men at that hardware store, on the other hand, had spent almost 10 years preparing for the arrival of Walmart in their own town, and they still went out of business. The women couldn't basically put cause and effect together. Then you also see many of these single moms working at Walmart complaining that they can either choose to feed their kids or pay for their healthcare benefits, but they couldn't do both. Yet these same women could afford money for makeup, jewelry, hair products, and other things. Some of these women even say that Walmart discriminated against them because they were women. Anything to take the blame off themselves and put it on the store. I'm not saying that Walmart is a good company because they're really bad because they destroy communities, and in fact I prefer Costco, where actually the workers make more of a living wage, and the prices are still cheap. Look at all these single mothers working at Walmart as being married to the Walmart Corporation. In the good old days, they might have actually married the guy that ran the local hardware shop, or the local pharmacist, or the man that ran the paint store. He would have made good money and passed most of the profit down to his wife. But the women obviously didn't feel independent because without the husband or man, she couldn't run the store. So today, many women that would have worked in their local husband's restaurant or small grocery store are working for Walmart as single mothers. Boo friggin' who. But still, I never see women working at Walmart outside collecting the carts in the snowy weather. Women tend to do jobs where they can't be held directly responsible for things. Also, just to sum up the big retail stores versus the small mom and pop places, which are basically family businesses, they treat their employees better than most nameless, faceless corporations, because people don't shit where they eat unless they're Brazilian potty girls. There also tends to be a lot of systematic racism in places like Walmart, which I also don't agree with. They should hire the most qualified person for the job, but we all know that people like to play favorites. Women rely on big government as well as big business, so they don't actually have to take responsibility to build up their own businesses. Then they complain that the companies beat them down like a mule. If they want to prevent this bad treatment, then they should start their own companies. But from my experience, women make terrible entrepreneurs unless they have the support from their husbands and perhaps a male partner. Anyways, that's all I've got to say for today. Thanks again, Roger, for the donation, and I'm glad I could change your life. Don't forget to smash the like button and check out the MGTOW mystery link. As for everyone else out there, please follow me on Twitter or like me on Facebook to get tomorrow's video today. Thanks for taking your daily dose of red pills. And remember, a red pill a day keeps the Kmart shoppers away. So enjoy the rest of your day, and cheers.